Are you? No, I've got it. Mind you. Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. I'm Chanel. This is Sylvie. Sylvie likes to make appearances in all of these videos. As soon as I start filming, she has to run up and get pats, don't you? Yes, you do. So in my last vlog, I forgot to mention that I am doing the Bloomin' Readathon. I don't know how. I forgot to mention it at all, but I did. So you would have seen that I was crossing off the prompt every time I read one of the books that I had chosen for those prompts. So let me tell you what I have read this week already. So for the cacti prompt, which was a non-needy read, so like something that's very easy to read, I chose On a Sunbeam because it was a graphic novel. So I rated this one 3 stars, and that's mostly for the illustrations, which were beautiful. So I love the art style in this book. However, I found the world building really lacked. I was confused as to why anything was happening, why there were any wars going on, how these spaceships that looked like sentient fish worked. Were they sentient fish or were they mechanical objects that just looked like fish? There was no explanations. The same thing for the fact that there were no men in this world whatsoever, and yet that wasn't explained, like how are people procreating and things like that if there's only women. And there was one non-binary character in there as well, but it just was very muddled. I just didn't understand. And there were some characters like Jules that I didn't like, and I felt could have been removed from the book entirely. Like, didn't add any value. They were very irritating. But it was a beautiful to look at. But what is a story besides women falling in love and people restoring dilapidated sites? Like, I don't know. So I've given it 3 stars. So the next prompt that I satisfied was the succulent. So something that gets you hot, whether from a lust angle, from an anger angle, something that just fires you up, that gets you passionate. And I chose for this one Throne of the Fallen, because look, I've been single for a while now. It's my birthday. I needed some smut. I don't have it in my real life, so I got to get it in my fictional life. And this delivered. This definitely delivered on that front. So this is a spicy romantasy that actually has a plot, which, hey, fun, like extra bonus, you know? So in this world, you've got 7 princes who represent the 7 deadly sins. And in this one, we're following envy. In this world, the princes, to sort of feed their power, they have to either feed off people that are experiencing their sin, or they themselves are experiencing their sins. So with envy, jealousy, it's not my favorite because I don't want to have envy and jealousy in a romantic relationship. I don't want to be making my partner jealous. I definitely don't want them making me jealous. So even though I didn't really love this particular sin and the way it worked, the couple was cute. Like I was here for them. Would I call this a slow burn? No, but it's more like a medium burn. You know, so in the beginning, they are very flirtatious, they are vexatious, they are bantering back and forth, and, you know, they're being quite cheeky, and then obviously they get physical. So it's not straight away, which is fantastic, because I just can't do it when people hook up immediately. So it was a medium burn. I could have had it a bit slower, a bit more teasing, a bit more of that tension, which I find delicious, but it was still pleasing. So I never know how to like talk about sexy books. But yeah, it was a good time. Like I said, I liked the world building. So in this world you had vampires and you have fae and you have these deadly sins and you have demons. So there's all sorts of paranormal entities. And the main character, she was fantastic. She was headstrong. She was an artist. She was taking care of herself even though her family was dead. She wasn't a pushover. She did find herself in a compromising situation though. She was being blackmailed by an absolute douche. Things obviously happen. It's a typical fantasy. They've got to find. So basically, Envy and her have to be reluctant allies. He needs her to get something, and then sort of she needs to use him to get out of something. So they are reluctant allies. He's less reluctant than her, let's just say that. But he has a rule of he only sleeps with women once, and then never again because of something that happened to him in his past. Is he going to break his rule for her? Who knows? Like we all know. We all still know how this is going to end, but I still enjoyed my time with it. There are really cool lion cats in this, so I love that. Her best friend is Fab, her best friend's name is Kitty, and it was just a really good time. I had a good time, and I stayed up late to read it. So I stayed up till 12:12, because that's what time it was when I checked my phone, and it was worth it. It was worth losing 2 hours of sleep so I could finish it off, because yeah, I needed it. So it delivered. I was in the mood for some fantasy and some sexy times, and it gave me both. So I definitely would continue in this series. Like, it's not the most amazing piece of literature. Like, that's not what it's there for. It's not to be like mind-blowing and really hitting you in the feels, but it is entertaining. That's what it is. And it makes you smile, and it, you know, gets the blood rushing. So it definitely made me hot. So hot. So I've absolutely loved that one. So the next prompt that I'm going to complete is The Ivy, and The Ivy is the highest rated book on your TBR, and the highest rated book on my TBR is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Look, I put this on there just because everyone raves about it. It is YA, and you know how I feel about YA. Mostly it's not for me, but I decided to give it a go because it came available as an audiobook and I needed an audiobook. So sorry, I'm getting distracted. A dandelion flower clock just got puffed in the wind, and all of the little clocks are just flying through the air. So it's very pretty. It's very mesmerizing, magical. And there's a butterfly now as well. So outside my window is just an absolute fairy tale at the moment. Back to reality. So I got the audiobook, and yeah, it's like a full, very well done, good production quality. There are multiple voice actors, which I love that. That just really adds to it. This book must have like mixed media in there, because you can tell just even from the audiobook when she's interviewing someone, when she's reading some sort of diary, when, you know, yada, yada, yada. So it's very interesting to listen to. With this book, you have to suspend your belief. You really have to get the logic part of your brain and chuck it out the window, because in no world is a teenage girl, and a regular teenage girl, not one that can do kung fu or has a gun or anything like that, just a regular teenage girl, pretty much deciding to solve a 5-year cold case of a girl that was murdered, and then her suspected murderer, her boyfriend, committed suicide a few days after, and she doesn't believe it. She believes that both of them were killed by the same person. So basically this whole book, she's just going around interviewing everybody again, and I'm just like, sorry, but if you had anything to do with this murder, would you give an interview to some teenage girl who's sticking her nose? No, probably not. But everyone in this, including the cops, are just spilling all of their information to her. This teenage girl has no experience, you know, investigating murders. And she quite often puts herself in a situation where she's alone with these suspected murderers and is confronting them with incriminating evidence. And you're just like, girl, if they've already murdered 2 people, you think they're going to like not murder you? Come on. So put that aside. Just go with it. Just go with it. Just let Nancy Drew do her work. That's basically what it is. So at the moment, that's just what's going on. It is very long. I'm going to say I have a feeling it could have been cut down. I don't think it needed to be this long. It could have been a bit more concise. I'm about halfway through it. So I think I've still got, I don't know, 6 so hours to go. I think it's a 12-hour audiobook. So yeah, I do feel like it could have been cut down already. I'm like, all right, come on, let's just get to it. Can we solve it, please? So I do have a feeling this is just going to be probably a 3 to 3.5 star book, but I want to know how it ends. Like, it's a thriller. I need to know who was a murderer. Just tell me so I can move on with my life. The next book that I'm going to pick up is for the variegated slot, and its prompt is a book that is rare or has fewer online ratings. So something that's just really slept. Not many people have read it, not many people have reviewed it, no one is talking about it. So on my TBR, that would be The 13th Hour. It's got very few reviews on there, and I've heard nobody talk about it. So I think I just saw this based on a Goodreads recommendation. You know, it's like, you might like this. And I'm like, it sounds okay. I will read it. So that will be the next one I read. So this week is my birthday. On the weekend, I have finally picked which of my dresses I'm going to wear. I did the whole try on thing yesterday because my body weight goes up and down very dramatically just based on my health conditions. It affects my size. So I was like, I can't know what I'm going to wear really until the day of, to be honest. But I just wanted to have some options in different sizes so that I you know, kind of knew what I was doing. So that's all set. I'm very excited. I might take you with me. Depends how fancy the vibe of the restaurant is. I might not want to film, but I might not. So we'll see. But I'm going to head to the library today. I've got one book to pick up. It's this one. I'll put a picture up here. That's the book I'm picking up. So it's just a new book that came in and its cover intrigued me. So I've decided to grab it. Otherwise, I will touch base with you once I have read some more books. So the next book that I read was The 13th Hour. This book was wild, son. So hectic, so over the top, really different to what I usually read. So this book is a steampunk fantasy. It's an adult. It's definitely adult fantasy. And in it there's no humans. So there are no humans in this world. There are gods and there are mortals. So in this world, I think there were 12 gods and 12 god realms. And those gods made their own mortals sort of in their own image. And in this world, you have to sort of pay your tithe to your god, and some gods are cruel and perhaps have extremely high tithes, and if you don't meet those, they torture you and they kill you. So sometimes people want to get away from their gods, and there's a 13th sort of place that's called Chimes. And in this world, there is no god that rules over it. However, one of the gods, mortals, are the kind of wardens on this world. So those people are called diviners, and the diviners have a kind of metallic sheen to their skin and eyes, and they are very punctual, and their magic ability is to do with time, slowing it, reversing it, speeding it up. They can also, by touch, see your past and sometimes your future. So every single god is different. All their mortals look different, and they all have different abilities. So in this world, in Chimes, there is a faction called the Godless, where there are mortals who want to no longer be tied to their god, no longer pray to them, and no longer be held to their tithes. And it's led by a woman named Kale. She wants to not have anything to do with her god, but her species is one of indigo colored skin. They can see in the night, they can control shadows. She is already in an established relationship with a male of her species. And straight away, I'm like, that never bodes well for these kinds of books to already be in a relationship. But anyway, she's with him, and they sort of try and smuggle people out from their god's realms into Chimes to give them a new life away from their god. So anyway, she's trying to do that. The other main MMC is one of the diviners. So he's a warden known as the Warden of Death, I think. And they end up having to be reluctant allies, kind of like enemies at first to friends. A lot of stuff goes down in this book. This book really is busy, busy, busy. There's a lot of world building, but it's really interesting. It's not like anything I've read before. Basically, every hour of the clock, so 12, goes through the 12 realms, and that portal stays open for an hour before it moves on to the next realm. But there's lots of sort of machinations at play. There are a lot of double dealings. There are all of these sort of covenants that mortals must abide by, but some are being broken, some gods are doing dodgy shit. So yeah, it was just a lot happening. I still haven't really gotten a good grasp of the world building and the magic system. I'm still a bit confused as to some things, but it was just so hectic. I ended up staying up late to read it. And once again, I finished reading at 12:12. 12:12 is like haunting me this week, but I just wanted to continue. I just wanted to see what would happen. I'm definitely intrigued enough to go into the second book. It's just so wacky and batshit crazy that I just didn't know what was going to happen. I was kind of holding on by the seat of my pants. So I would say it's fast paced, but like I said, it's also got a big thing of the steampunk fantasy woven in. So a lot of those concepts from that kind of world is in this one. I wish there were pictures of all of the citizens, all of the mortals, because I would love to see them, even though in my head I was able to picture it and the different worlds that they came from. But I would have loved some illustrations in this kind of book. But I will be continuing it. I did rate it a 4.5 stars. It is a lot of fun. It definitely has, I would definitely say check the trigger warnings before reading it. It wasn't too bad for me, but you know, everyone's triggers are different. Spice-wise, yeah, I can't, like, kind of spicy, but not, but then there are some graphic things also. So, yeah, I wouldn't go into this for the romance yet. I feel like there is a relationship building between two characters that I do like together. They're cuties, but it doesn't happen in this novel. So I'm hoping it will eventually, and I think then obviously that would contain a lot of spice, and I am looking forward to that kind of spice. But yeah, like I said, I had a fun time, and I will be continuing on with the series. But that's everything for this week. Until next time, stay wild, Star Child.